Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 3rd, and today I listened to 25 by Adele. I think a lot of people were curious as to how Adele was going to follow up the cultural juggernaut that was 21, but if you ask me, I think that 25 is about as iconic. Hello was a song that took the world by storm. Everybody knew that song. And once again, Adele found herself in the middle of the Venn diagram of critical darling, loved by the public, and massively successful. I listened to 25 today, and I think I did enjoy it more than I did 21. All of these songs were good. Adele has this sort of distinctive style to her music, this sort of timeless pop music type of stuff. And that does encapsulate, I'd say, a majority of the songs on 25, but there are a couple songs that feel a lot more like modern pop songs, and a few that felt noticeably less mainstream. I Miss You and River Lee straight up sound like Florence and the Machine songs from Ceremonials. It definitely felt like there was more of an effort for Adele to expand her musical style and try something different with this album compared to 21. The most surprising song in that respect is the closing track of the album, Sweetest Devotion. It's so interesting listening to songs like this, a few years later, because I know exactly what that song is about, and oh my gosh, did that song not age well. But anyway, the dramatic irony aside, the way that that song sounds is very distinct from the rest of the album. In the recommended, on the side when I was listening to it, I saw country songs, and I thought that's honestly not far off. There was sort of a Sweet Home Alabama sort of guitar riff on it, and it felt a lot more folksy. Colloquially, based on what other people have said, the standout fan favorite song from this album is When We Were Young. And while I certainly can concede that it sounds gorgeous, as do all the songs on 25, there wasn't really anything in the lyrics that spoke to me. The biggest hit from this album is obviously Hello, and I can absolutely see why. That song is an unstoppable force. And it also, perfectly encapsulates this very specific emotion. The idea of feeling like you're stopping yourself from moving on, but still also feeling like there's stuff that you need to address, stuff that you need to talk about. As someone who has spent far too much of their life worrying about being perceived as annoying, there are some things in that song I can relate to in a very deep level. The term epic pop is not used very often, but if there's anything in recent memory that fits that category, it is Hello by Adele. It was the Rolling in the Deep of 25, a song that refused to be ignored. When it comes to my favorite song on 25, it's kind of odd because I had listened to this song in the past and I liked it, but I don't remember it being this good. Water Under the Bridge. It's one of those pop songs that just kind of feels stone cold perfect. There's nothing they could have done to make it better. I did like Send My Love, at least the way it sounded. I'm not a fan of the lyrics, but it also felt like it was trying to be a pop song. Water Under the Bridge just is. It's sort of like Babe Ruth pointing at the rafters. Yeah, we all know Adele is an amazing artist, and songs like this are just further proof of it. Overall, I did enjoy 25 more than 21, and it is my favorite album of this album, April. Yesterday I called it Horror Nights, sorry about that. It is my favorite song of album April so far. I don't know if I'm going to listen to another Adele album in the future for this. 21 and 25, those definitely felt like a moment. If Adele wanted to, she could coast on those two albums for the rest of her life and be fine. She made her impact. She released another album after this, 30, and as of last year, she said that she's on an indefinite hiatus from making music, so there's probably not going to be another album anytime soon. I was reading the Wikipedia article for Adele, and she said that her favorite record of all time was The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That was an album that I listened to in the very first album, April, and we're going back to that dramatic irony I mentioned earlier because Lauryn Hill had the whole world at her fingertips after the release of that album, and then she went on to be a complete mess for the next quarter of a century. Thankfully, Adele seems to have handled her fame a lot better. And I can't really think of anything else to say. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.